Tilted
Tilted
balls.
balls.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Thanks for joining us again for the Kilted Balls podcast. It has been an entire week, and we have wanted to get on so many times, but yeah, life, right? Life.
It's been a crazy, crazy week for sure.
Oh my gosh, it's been nuts. And I actually had some time this week where I was like, ooh, maybe I can, do something, but it never happens. So now
You get distracted walking into that office.
I get distracted as soon as I come in here. Now school has already been called off for tomorrow. So
Oh, really?
we might have time. Yeah, I guess a huge snowstorm is blowing into southeast Michigan and Ohio and Indiana and all of that, dropping like a foot of snow. So they're kind of taking precautions and just canceling now.
Wow. Well, I guess you
So,
guys
yeah.
have some days to burn. So
Yeah.
do you have to like teach online or something, or it's just a day off?
So I don't allow teaching online.
Good job.
So yeah. Well, I see sometimes going, oh, we have snow days, but we teach online. And I'm like, yeah, not us. And they're like, what do you mean not you? I'm like, why would I agree to that? They're like,
Yeah.
what do you mean agree? I'm like, you don't do anything unless you agree to it. So, well, I never agreed to it. Apparently you did.
You did
Apparently
somewhere
you
in there.
did. Somewhere along the lines, you agreed. You know what I did? I did not agree. And I was really clear. I'm not agreeing to this. So
That's awesome. Well,
now maybe
congratulations.
sometime in the future I will, right? Like there
Mhm.
might be a time in the future where I'm like, oh, maybe we should be teaching on a snow day. But right now I am not inclined to acquiesce to their demand.
See, there you go.
So
You drew your line in the sand and you're not by any water to erase it. So that's good.
no, I don't know why I would.
Well, maybe
So-
we'll have to tomorrow. We'll have to see what's going on.
That's right. See, so you guys get a little peep into my other teaching life, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
I get to make fun decisions like, do we teach on a snow day or not? But today we have decided to change the format of Kilted Balls just slightly. So just slightly, we are going to try to start making these shorter segments and multiple. So,
I think it's a great idea. I think it's super cool.
well, way back at the beginning, when we first were doing our episodes, we're like, okay, this first one's going to be long, but from now on, they're all going to be short, like 15, 30 minutes. And then we get going and we start talking and we get all over the map. And so some of our listeners, I think, really would appreciate short episodes with specific topics. So they can be like, okay, like today's episode, we really want to talk about, it's been a week. So we wanted to talk to you guys about what we've been doing in the crypto market, right? We've been kind of a bear market. It's been kind of around. And so we wanted to share some of the stuff we've been doing. And so now you can know, hey, this episode is about crypto. And the next one will probably be about NFTs. And you can kind of like pick and choose what interests you and only have a 15-minute blurb and not be overrun by us babbling about everything.
Well, I mean, a few of our hardcore listeners had made the comments and we're listening, and we hope that's going to help, obviously the ones close to us, but also people who don't know us and who want to hear it and invite their friends. And so
Right.
I agree. I think it's gonna help the channel. So it's super awesome.
Yeah. So things that we've done. So obviously, if you've been paying attention, the market has been kind of crazy. It's very bearish. It's interesting to me when I joined the crypto world, when I finally decided I was going to play, it was back in June. And this is where the crypto market was. So a lot of people in my world, my Twitter world, have been freaking out a little bit. And I'm like, actually, this is how I started. So this is back when I was day trading. It was this account. And so I'm like, this feels actually normal to me. Right? Like, I don't like that everything's down, but I like the fact that it doesn't feel weird.
It almost seems like it's on sale. I mean, like in November, we're looking at prices and like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do that. And hopefully any of our listeners were taking some profits like we've talked about, and they had some money on the sidelines when it dropped down a little bit. I did not necessarily follow that advice.
I did not as well.
I did.
did
I
not as
took a
well.
little bit of profits here and there, but you know, so it wasn't hit as hard. But yeah, the watching the market fall is not exciting. But at the same time, we've talked about this. I'm not using money that I need to eat with this week.
Right. So like I'm sad because our listeners will remember I put in a good chunk into ETH back in October, told Amy I would double it in a month. She said, I'll give you till the end of the year. It
Mhm.
got all the way up to 50%, right? So I bought it at 29. So when it was hitting like the 4,000s, I was like, I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Everybody else should be copying me. And now I'm like in the red. And she's like, what happened? And I'm like, well, I should have sold it in December like the plan was.
That was the plan.
The plan was to double it and, pull it out at the end of December. And I am horrible about following my plans. And listeners, you've heard us talk about it. Make your plan, stick with your plan, and you'll be happier in the long run.
When you
Right.
have a plan, that's the thing. That's the
Well,
thing. And we'll
and I
talk
had
about that
one.
in the next episode. You did have a plan.
Had a
Although
plan.
something that you've planned into recently, I am very excited to say you might be turning a new leaf.
Me?
Yeah, because you bought something and it's still right about the same from when you bought it.
So what we are talking about right now, and I'll let you know the power of my mojo. So I bought some Algorand, right? So I've had Algorand forever since I first got in, not because I bought any. I liked the concept and Coinbase gave it to me for free. And so I got it for free. And I always thought, ooh, I should buy some of this, but I didn't do any research. And I was kind of really stuck in a spot where if I'm not going to do the research on these, I really don't want to buy these altcoins. And I didn't have time to research, but I really liked the 4%. And I really liked the fact that it was 4% going into your wallet daily. So I would watch it. And I think total, it gave me like 12 cents since July. Right. I'm like, yeah, 12 cents. But so I was thinking about it. You switched some to Algorand recently.
Yep.
And I was to Amy again and saying, listen, Algorand gives 4%. It's down back to where it was way back in June. I think we should take some money and throw it into Algorand. And she's like, and she goes, 4% is really good. And I'm like, right? Like if we're not trading it, if we're just letting it ride, like let's stake it there. Let's get 4% and let's call it good. And then Jason, who we've interviewed, got on the other day and was like, hey, I just bought a whole bunch of Algorand. I did all of this research. They have these things. Ball, if you haven't bought it, you should think about buying it. It has all these good things. And he never once mentioned the 4% return.
He didn't even say it at all.
And you got on next and was like, yeah, well, and it gives you a 4% return. And he's like, I didn't even think about that. Like, besides all of the reasons he was going to buy it, it also pays you 4%. Now, here's the negative, my friends. So Kilted is right. I bought it and it did not drop. So far I'm up 3 cents.
Nice.
Which is like 3 or 4%. Goodbye. But did you see they changed how they're going to do their payouts?
No, I didn't.
So Coinbase sent me a letter today, which I knew this already going in. So I did enough research that I knew this. But Coinbase sent me an email today and said, hey, we noticed you have a whole bunch of Algorand. We want to point out that they're changing their payment structure. So right now they pay you daily for your 4%. So it's always calculating it. And those of you who understand compound interest, daily, pretty dang.
Yeah.
They are changing it to quarterly. So it was a community decision and the community went with quarterly. And so, sometime here in the next month or two, it'll switch to quarterly.
Oh, I didn't get that email. I mean, it's still fine. The 4% isn't as, I mean, yes, it's cool because it's like, hey, it's 4%.
Right.
But at the same time, it's that I think that there's a ton of great stuff about it. And any of our listeners, do your research. But I thought I was really happy with it, and I moved actually house money over to it that I
Well,
had in Ethereum. And
here's the thing. If I were going to buy a stock
mhm.
and it
Yeah,
was at a 4% dividend, I'd buy the stock. And I
yeah,
wouldn't care about the fluctuations. I would be happy with 4%, right? So, I mean, I'm really happy if it's like a 10%, but 10% dividend stocks are really volatile.
mhm.
This one, like I said, it's still the same price I bought it for before. Now it's had ups, but it's still about the same. And getting a 4% return, that's not shabby.
Yeah. Well, it's just under $1 now,
Yeah.
and it was up to, oh, do I not have this? I guess it doesn't show. I thought it showed it on here. Well,
So
oh, there it is. I just started using Coin Market Cap too, which is I've been super, I think I've been happy with it, honestly. At first I wasn't sure.
So tell us about that. So wait, first off, were there any other big buys you made? So my big buy and your big
Oh,
buy
sorry.
was Algorand, right? So we both bought
Yes.
some Algorand, and it has a lot of cool things, people. We're not going to go into all of them. You got to do your own research. The big thing that I like is that it's a 4% return. So, right now I'm getting paid Algorand. By the way, if you heard me earlier, I made 12 cents. Today I made 13 cents. So what I made in like 6 or 7 months, I made in a day.
Just
So,
carrying a little bit more.
just carrying a
Um,
little bit more.
I don't remember like the last time we've talked about this,
Mhm.
like in my mind clearly. For me, recently, I mean, I get the Town Star every day, which we've talked about that. So I'm
Yes.
getting Town Coin every day from playing, but I have I think I got some more OMI recently, which we've talked about, the VV app.
Oh
It's their
yeah.
token. And then I think that's all I've bought extra, like as far as recently is concerned. I think
Okay.
that was it. I put a little bit more into that. I'm still
Well,
really
why
bullish on
don't
that.
you give us a brief synopsis of Coin Market Cap and why you use it and why you like it?
Yeah. So what I do in the past, I once a month I go through everything. So I have an idea what's going on. I have a spreadsheet that my NFTs are in and that all my crypto is in. And then I have like how much I have of each one, then I can do the quick calculations as far as what it's worth at that time. And I can look on, and I like to look at Coinbase, it'll show me the plus and minus for the 24 hours, or I can click on different
Sure.
ones. It'll show all that. So I really like that. And actually, Jason's talked about Coin Market Cap, and I'd heard it before, but I'd never downloaded the app. So what I could do, whereas in my spreadsheet, it's obviously I'm updating it, but I do have it color coded to where everything is, like what's in my Coinbase Pro, what's in my Coinbase, what do I have just in my MetaMask wallet, stuff like that. But with this, it's all in one spot, and I could type in all my stuff. You can put in like what you paid for it if you want to do all that. I didn't do that. It was more work than I wanted to do. I just put them in as transfers. So starting this last weekend, I that was my starting point in my app, and I can look back at it, and it's updated basically every second of the day. So
Oh,
when
nice.
anything is updated, for one, my total amount will update, but also I can look at each one, and then you can also click on them. And like what I was just looking at, I was looking at Algorand, and I went back to see, I went in the past year because I was going to say it topped out. I thought it was close to $3 where it topped out. So, and it was like 260 something. But
Nice.
that information is right there, which is pretty sweet. And it's fun. I try not to look at it a lot,
So
but it
that's
does
way
make you.
easier than the method you were doing.
Yes, it is. Although I still did that method this morning because it was the first of the month. So I went through and did everything. So I can still kind of see, like, I like to see my percentages of each. How much do I have in my NFTs, which I have been
Right.
selling off some of my NFTs and putting it into other crypto.
Sure. For
Have you
sure.
have you done it yet? Gotten the
What?
Coin Market Cap
No.
app?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
It's an app on the phone. It's really easy to use. It's free.
I'm
I don't know.
I'm interested, and I'll have to ask Jason about this. So I'm interested in doing it.
Mhm.
I'm not sure about it, but the part that interests me about Jason is so worried about giving his information and stuff out. So it's interesting to me that he's giving all of his information to an app.
Yeah, you just put in your email. But yes, you're putting, but there, you're not
But it's
like,
tracking all of your wallets.
no, it's, I mean, you can put anything you want in there. I could put in that I have 1,000 Bitcoin and there's no way to prove it or disprove it.
Oh, so it's not checking your wallet to see what's happening.
Mm-mm.
You put in what you have of everything. So it's just a spreadsheet that's updating on its own.
Well, here's the. Oh,
I
that's
can't
not
see
gonna work.
anything.
Yeah, wait, there it is.
Oh, there we go.
So,
Let's see.
so it has, oops. I'm sorry, Gary. So let's do this. Let's figure this. So it
There you
has this, and then you type in, how much of what you have, and it'll do the 24-hour or whatever, and then show your balance and all that stuff. You can do
Interesting.
7-day,
Maybe
30-day, 60-day, 90, all.
Maybe I'll have to look at it and see what we got. So,
So
all
I mean,
right.
I have a lot of coins, so it's nice to be able to keep track of it.
Yeah, that'd be super nice. I was thinking I needed something because I have so many wallets. Like I was like, I haven't checked my Bitski wallet months,
Yeah.
and months. I haven't checked it. I'm like, what is even going on in that wallet? And
Yeah.
then I have my Coinbase and I have my Coinbase Pro and I have my MetaMask and we have the Kilted Balls MetaMask. And I'm like, there's so many.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe something like this would help me kind of organize everything. So does it track NFTs as well?
It does not, as far as if it does, I haven't noticed that.
Piss
I
poor.
haven't
Piss poor.
tried. That would be sweet, like tracking floors and stuff
Super
like
sweet.
that.
I will leave our listeners, so we're going to wrap it up because we said we're going to keep these short. But the other big news we have in the crypto world is that our first miner.
Yes, very exciting. So
Yep.
2 miners at the warehouse and 2 miners at your place.
Yep. So 4 miners are operating. They seem to be doing all right. We've changed it so that it pays us out once a month. Before we had it set on like an amount of Bitcoin to pay us. And it was just getting too complicated. And as we added the 4th miner, that makes it even more complicated. So we said, we're just going to have it pay us once a month. And we had our first payout the 31st. And now hopefully we'll get another one at the end of February. But the bad part about the miners is when Bitcoin is down, electricity is still what electricity is. So you lose a ton of profit. On the converse, when Bitcoin is up, you make a ton more money, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if McDonald's spends less on their beef, they don't change the price of their hamburgers, they just pocket more money.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, but anyway, so that's what's going on with crypto in our world. Thank you for listening to us and joining with us. Catch us in our next episode where we'll be talking about some NFTs. So
yes.
You think that and Kilted?
No, this is Kilted Dragon Jer. I love you all.
All right. This is Ballbuster signing off. We'll see you guys later.